Okay, so we are now revisiting the parts of the deal signing at Sony. Finished from X Factor. Group's been together for a long number of years. You now have had Epic pick up the options to sign you. Walk us through that process. You know, when you met the team, how did you feel? Were you confident? And what was the plan that they gave you in terms of how they saw your careers or your projects going as Rough Copy?
As Rough Copy. So like I said previously, we had the initial meeting in December. And that was brief, it was real brief. We went in there to see the A&R and our MD. And then in January, we came in thinking that we're going to be like, you know, the generic, you go in, bottle of champagne, paperwork, and you're like, yeah, pictures. No. We went in and we literally walked into the room and there was like a buffet, like this size room, and there was food all around. Like, and we're like, what's this for? Who's this for? They're like, oh, you guys. And the team literally one by one started rolling in. So we didn't know what was going on because we thought we was coming to sign papers, you know, particulars. So we're seeing all the team come in and we're like, who's these? And they're like, oh, this is this person, this is your da-da-da-da, this is your A&R, this is your marketing, this is your social media. And we're like, oh, hi, what's now? What's going on now? They're like, oh, basically, it's going to go straight in because you've already signed your papers. We're like, oh, man, it's all part of the vibe, isn't it? I know we signed in the house, but there was no champagne, it was water. So this is upsetting still, but it was good because we're like, all right, we met the team now, and then straight onto the tour.
What vibe did you get from them?
On the real.
On the real.
Because I was blinded by God's grace. You see what I did there? Did you see what I did there? Oh, mad. Because I was blinded by His grace, yeah, I didn't see this till like after. There was only probably a couple people in there that really was amped, like, let's go, we're gonna do this thing, this is, ooh. And a couple people was just on her, you know. By default, I'm here, I got a job to do, innit? As you do. Yeah. But some people, there was a lady in there called Chloe, like, she was our social media guru. I call her guru because when she was on the team, no worries. Tony would be on the phone to her, we'll be getting what we need, like, it wasn't a problem. But that's the general like feeling I got. It was like it was a split. It was split down the middle in terms of some people was really excited, and some people was excited, you know, because this is a new project for them. Yay! Let's see what happens here.
So let's go into the part of like, what was the remix? You guys came in, you got your advance, you signed your deal, and you were told to go away and come back with a single. Right.
Yeah, it wasn't as like generic as go away, you come back, we'll have a meet. It was more like, let's go away, let's see what you come back, and when we come back, we'll bring some tracks and you bring some tracks, and let's see what we pick and what happens and what we feel. So we came back with like 10 tracks, bruv, like, yeah, where's yours? Where's yours? We're playing all our songs, it was their turn now. Oh, we don't feel like we should play you any of this stuff because we don't need to, because your stuff is so great. Yeah, but where's your stuff? Cause we played you ours. We came prepared, man. We got ammo. Where's yours? You came to a battle without no shield or gun or knife, bruh. Come on. Which to me was the first red flag, amber. I was like, okay, maybe why? And yeah, it was weird for me. The second time it happened now, I was like, whoa. Okay, so you haven't even asked us who we're recording with. You haven't asked us if we need a studio. You haven't asked us anything. We've just gone in and done what we do because, again, we're self-sufficient. So we didn't really want for anything. But it would have been nice if, you know, gave us some, like, I don't know, give a dog a bone, something. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Well, they gave us our promo, marketing thing, whatever they want to call that.
Hey, your neck is twitching, Izzy. Are you okay?
I'm fine. It's hot. Nah, let's be real. At the end of the day, we was...
They dropped the ball.
They dropped, like, the ball got... I don't think they picked it up.
Well, listen, so the way I'm going to correlate it for those who are watching, you're supposed to feel almost a part of something when you go over to any situation. That could be a label, that could be anything at work. You're supposed to feel a part of the team. If you're now told to go away and do something, and we're going to do something, and then when you come back with your stuff, you're showing your enthusiasm that you want to be like, look, we're squad, this is what I'm bringing, cool. And when you guys have empty hands, it's like, well, not even one thing. That makes me feel that I'm not saying I'm a priority, but the small thing that you said you're going to do, you didn't do.
And for us, it was a thing where...
But isn't that your product manager then? I mean, I'm saying it in
so let's get into the segment since we're breaking it down. Let's get into because it was very real. That product manager was very real with us and our manager.
Explain, because people ain't gonna know what a product manager is.
So the product manager is the person this is the person who's selling you to your fans and the world. This is who has to take your music from your studio and that email into the world.
They oversee the project. They'll look at your PR, your market, everything of that nature, yeah.
They're almost as important as A&R, if not more, because they're the ones who you're working with on a day-to-day basis with your project, because we both believe in this thing, right? So with that, away from all the good things they did, the most important things that should have been done in terms of music, that was where the ball got dropped, as you would say, Amaru. The ball got dropped in terms.
I know you throw my name into it, but yeah, I said it.
in terms of that, and the reason I say this is, at the time, we was releasing music the same time as Labyrinth and Hella Henderson, and we already know what time it is with those two. Yeah. Our product manager.
They're on the other label.
They're on Psycho.
Right.
Yeah, still the same family. They poached Hella Henderson's project manager for us. And he said I wouldn't have run this campaign like this. I wouldn't.
So happened to your product manager?
We didn't have one, bro.
Oh, you didn't have a product manager?
We didn't have one. We were sharing him with Hella Henderson. And you have to understand, she just won. No, she didn't win, sorry. She didn't win because she battled James Arthur.
No,
James
but
Arthur won.
I think at that point, was that we shared that big hit six? No, that's that point we shared that big...
No, this was before the release of anything, but it was gearing up.
Okay.
And we could see the gearing up. We're like, oh, the tables are shifting here. Like, we're not getting what she's getting. You know what I mean? And we was told your music's gonna be released the same week as so and so and so and so. They're dropping, and we're like, oh, it's two different lanes, man. Child, let's do it. You get me? But away from all of that, our product manager was sharing. Like I said, there was a lady called Chloe in there that really like. The enthusiasm she had gave us life. Like, we would go into the Sony building excited. After our video dropped, Street Love, we would walk into the studio because, as far as they're concerned, the numbers we had on our Twitter, 10% of that should have given us a quarter of a mil, if not 500,000 views. We had 150. We was only a week, 2 weeks in. We're like, yo, let the things them grow now. Like.
So, let me pause. They were looking at the metrics of how well the videos can perform, and when it wasn't at the numbers they looked at it's like, well, it's a dud then.
Yeah, basically, and like, oh, we thought these. It was almost like management was arguing, like back and forth, consecutive, like literally, like he was trying to show them you can't treat an R&B group as you would treat a pop group. It doesn't work. These guys do well in the streets. You got to take the promo to the streets. You got to take it direct to consumer. You can't be on the social media thing. These lot work great when they're interacting. Take them on the road. Oh yeah, but the social, if we can just the numbers, if we can just get 10% of their 250,000 followers on Twitter, would be wonderful. And then on their Facebook, we're like, no, you're looking at numbers, bro. We're real artists. Like, we perform on stage and we jump off stage and we, you will not see us in a VIP section, even though it's there. This is us. This is how we work. So that happened, and obviously the vibes changed in the building. The vibes started to change because certain things was happening, and they didn't see. As far as they're concerned, we didn't hit the mark. So is this gonna work or not? So they're already made up in their head.
Do you get told what the mark is? Like when you, and this one I actually don't know. When you actually have those, whether it goes to management, do they say a number of units that they wanna?
With the videos, I think they wanted 250.
250,000, okay, and that's a KPI. They'll say, okay, we may be able to allocate more budget to push it further potentially. In terms of sales, did they give you a number?
No, we didn't. We just and that's where the blind side came in. We just didn't even know what our pre-sales did. We didn't know anything. And that I would be asking that, yo, well gone, are we good on pre-orders? And management would be giving me the face to say, didn't want to give me bad news, innit? But it clearly wasn't doing what they thought it would do. Again, the track, when we left studio, that's what would have connected. But the track we ended up releasing was a compromise because the sound that we left the studio with was very much R&B. Like, it was, the harmonies weren't flattened out, weren't straightened out. You heard melody. What we put out was a compromise because some of the things was heavily auto-tuned and a lot of the harmonies was flattened and a lot of heavy production, and can't really blame the producers or the engineer for that because we all sat in the room like, yo, we had to do certain things because, you know, how powers that be, innit? And that's just what it was at the time. That was our compromise. It was either that or nothing. So yeah, man. Yeah.
So the original song was R&B. Shout out, you guys can check closer to the original sound on my channel when we did it at Dean Street Studio.
Acoustic vibes.
Yeah,
That was probably the, yeah.
So when you guys leave the studio feeling like, yeah, we got it, this is great, it gets played to the higher ups. They don't like it, or they like it, or they don't think it can work.
No, they loved it. Like,
so why change it if they loved it?
Because they're not used to it. So imagine you're hearing a sound you haven't marketed before. Like, you haven't had any. You can't positively say that, yeah, I'm gonna get #1 for this because I've done it before. You're hearing a new sound, so you're like, rah. Okay, what do we do here? Okay, let's sprinkle a bit of what we know on it. A bit more confidence will grow from that if we know we've put some stuff in it. And we sat down with our A&R and we asked him point blank, straight to his face, what do you want? R&B. We're like, okay, what kind of R&B do you want? Because we can do everything, innit? Jodeci. They said Jodeci. I ain't making this up. We sat in a studio with the Beat Freaks, with our A&R, and they looked in our face and they said, Jodeci. And we said, you know the laugh, like, for example, you're about to go into a ring with a little pitney and you know you're going to spank him. You're like, yeah, I'm going to win this fight. Like, we was like, this is a madness. You want Jodeci? Yo, man, got bear of that, fam. Man's got shoes now that we ain't got to go studio. Put that, you know what I mean? So we already had what they wanted. So, and we asked them again, are you sure? They're like, yeah. Like, so when music was getting played back and forth, we're like, which one's closer to what you want? And that's where the confidence, we felt confident enough to do that kind of sound because we're like, this is what you asked us to do, what we normally naturally, this is our natural habitat right now. We're in our element. No one ain't testing us here. It's dreams.
Do you think that was a part of a little, like, I won't say they were gassing you, but they'll throwing you a bone that they know that they weren't gonna catch themselves?
I think what they tried to do was keep us there. They wanted to say they said all the right things because the guy who was actually our A&R loved R&B. Loving R&B and selling R&B are two different things, bruh. So you love the music and this is a group that's doing the music you love. Now, how do you make this group some money so the company can make some money? How do we do this? Gold mine, you walk past the gold mine, bro. Like, you just walk past it. So you saw gold and you like, blindsided to it, like you walk past the gold to go find yourself some silver. It don't make no sense. That's what it was. If it was done right, we might be in a different place today if everything was pushed into that sound. And that's all it takes. It takes a champion to champion a sound. Like, look at now, we've got all these different kind of like, all sorts of Afrobeat genres, whole heap of subheadings. It took somebody to believe in the sound for the sound to be what it is today. No one believed in the R&B sound enough for it to be, for them to basically risk the company budget for it.
What did you think of the video?
Bruv, listen, the stories upon stories. Our videographer, yeah, our videographer, the first treatment we gave, like, we gave them a treatment. So when I talk about self-sufficient, they didn't have to lift a finger. It would have been nice. But I think that's where maybe we kicked ourselves, because we showed them too much self-sufficiency. So we gave them a treatment, and we're talking the treatment. We're like, all we need is a couple post-production artists to come and, you know, do a couple Chris Brown effects, you know. We had a white room, we had a look, our videographer sourced everything. All we needed was the budget. And it's like, they wanted to go with who they believed would get us.
What budget? How much was it going to cost you guys?
Our videographer he wasn't asking for a lot.
I probably guarantee you that whatever you guys asked for, your video ended up costing more than what you guys asked.
Yeah, man, the video cost like, what, 20 bags? Yeah. Video cost 20 bags, yo. My guy makes, our guy, like, he's a dope artist. Like, I call him the greatest of all time, because away from holding a camera, what he produces after, the post-production is ridiculous. He can give you a 20 grand video for not 20 grand. I won't say no one's prices, because everyone's got to eat it. But you can get that. And we was like pushing hard, like, he done treatment, he done everything. And it sat us down with Mark Walker films. Still dope. But in terms of what we was, and I remember at this time, this is where I was at a lot of the meetings, and the boys were still continuing with the X Factor tour. So I was like, yo, me and the man them, we're looking at this kind of vibe. Icebox, Amarion, like Pretty Young Things, PYT, The Way You Make Me Feel, MJ, kind of vibe, you know? Chasing down a girl, kind of dance affiliated, kind of, you get me? And what we got back was like, kind of basic. It was almost like what we came to you with Jodeci, yeah? And you gave us like 112, blood. 112 still dope, don't get me. But in terms of like the caliber, that's what you gave us back. And we just had to run with it, man, because time was against us, innit? Like we had to keep on delivering, because that's what we do. Like we just got on with it. The styling was there. Like, again, self-sufficient. Our stylist, my missus, and her and the team, even that, they was ahead of deadline. So for them to get their money, they had to wait. Now we're talking about customized, like customized clothing. Like, think about MJ, think about Usher back in the day, Pop Your Collar days, where videos meant something. We tried to take it back to then. So really and truly, like, the video was just a video.
It was basic. It was 3 men chasing a girl.
Basically, and it was supposed to be more than that. Like when you watch MJ is just chasing a girl, but the smoke, you get me, the little, you get me, it was just different. There was a story, like, it was a story to it. Like, man was just chasing a girl, innit? Whether you got the story at the end, that's even a different thing. But, yeah.
Alright, bro, so kind of like closing that chapter.
Yeah.
What was the deal? What was it? Because I remember speaking about this to you before. I thought it was just a single deal. What was the deal?
It was single album.
So that's. But you said it wasn't 2 singles with the option. You're saying it was. It must have been 2. It must have been 2 singles. Album. Okay, cool.
But the way they was talking was like single, and we're gonna go straight for the album. Because management, you know, wording is very important. So management will ask things like, so what happens if the boys don't surpass your expectations of sales? What happens then? Oh, it's all right, man. You just go on to the next one, innit? You know what I mean? Just carry on moving. So we're like, yo, if this thing don't pop off, I haven't got another chance, really. No, blood. The thing didn't pop off. Along with the problems we had in the with the tour, which probably maybe gave them a little fear in terms of the whole tour misunderstanding, where
You got to speak on that.
people thought I done GBH on Sam Callahan. They thought I grievously body harmed him. It's funny to me now, because at the time I was going through it again, things that no one sees. Had to leave the X Factor tour. I chose to leave because it was either me or all of us, and I wasn't going through that. I decided, like, you know what, I'll leave, because clearly you want to get rid of all of us, but I am the reason why we're in this room right now, so let me leave. So there was a situation, and I call it boisterousism, because you've got two men them in the room, two different walks of life. One's boisterous in terms of, I can get away with murder, so I can do what I like, and no one ain't gonna trouble me because I'm Sam Callahan. And this is probably the most in-depth I've spoken about it, because a lot of people get it twisted. They think I'm a violent don. They think I'm a violent guy. No. It's provoking, innit? You provoke consequences, Charlie, you know? So, and you got me I'm just trying to keep my head low, 'cause I've been through too much. Like, my name has just been dragged in it. So let me just ease up. But it gets to a point where you have to understand, we spent 9 weeks in the same house with people I've never met in my life. I got OCD in it. I know how I like my things in it. I can't live like with a mass amount of people. Like a mass amount. 2 people's cool. Like 3. Building up from then, it was building up, the frustrations and the, I can't deal with your lifestyle, you're mad, you're in my space, you're talking nonsense, and you're not understanding principles and the word respect for people's personal space. So you bring that same foolishness on tour. Everybody was feeling the same thing. I'm just the first person to actually do something about it, because he crossed the line. And when I say he crossed the line, and people don't actually know what actually happened, I'm gonna tell you. We were sitting down before the tour, the third date in Nottingham. And we was there, me, Hannah Barrett, Joe, Sterling was downstairs with the dancers, and Tamara and Sam Callahan, yeah? And we was busting joke because the day before, Tamara had fallen down because she was on a harness and she's falling. So we was busting joke, we're like, you're the reason my arm is mashed up, because of your fall, Rough Copy had to come and save you. So they come and got us, yo guys, come and get us, like, yo guys, Tamara's had an accident, can you perform earlier? And we're not even dressed, we're like, what? So we're going through madness just to get ourselves on stage. I fall off stage. Graze up the whole of my arm, I'm all bleeding on stage, you know, like through my shirt, like, because there's a part in Hit the Road Jack where we disappear into the pit, but we land on some soft cushions. So I went, boop, I've rebounded into the press pit. Bro, I'm talking, when you watch them cartoons, and literally rebounded on, because you drop and you walk underneath the stage, innit? So I haven't even made it. So I'm like disorientated, I've lit my head on something, I'm bleeding, I'm like, they're like, this way, cuz, flashlight flashing. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. I got backstage, I was legs kicking down one door, I bust through the door, like, oh, this gal. So we're busting joke about it, because this is the day after. And she's like, oh, guys, and she's there in her cast with her foot up like this, leaning on her man at the time, because that's her boyfriend at the time.
Oh, Sam was a boyfriend?
Yeah. Conspiracy. Anyway, but listen, and I can speak on this now, because at the end of the day, we're 4 years down. Yeah. It's happened now. She's doing her thing now. He's doing whatever he's doing. We're doing, cha. So she's caught up like this, and I ain't under no management or no media to hold my tongue. So I'ma chat things them. So she's leaning up like this, and I'm like, yo, it's Tamara, man. Yo, what happened to you though? Yeah, what I got for you yesterday? You mashed your foot, yeah, your foot broke off, yeah. So you did to my arm. So rather than him allowing big man to speak, like, this is an A and B conversation. Don't even try to see your way in. You get me? So I'm giving you in-depth info. Joe's laying down on the table, catching a vibe. Hannah's there, doing what Hannah does, big grin, laughing. So he's like, what? He's on this bad man thing, isn't it? He's come on this bad man thing. So I'm like, bruh, like, man, I'm not even talking to you, I'm talking to a girl still. So he's picked up, you know them fizzy pops back in the day, you put in it. So he's picked up one of them. Don't care how small or big it is, bruh. I don't care if it was a piece of paper. He's gone. And I'm like, you know, it was a moment, it was like a film. I got to keep referring to it, even when I'm doing interviews. I had to refer to it as it was a film, because it was like a freeze frame moment. And I was there like, you get me? And everyone was like, and I was like, bro, don't throw that. I'm having a bad day already, you know. My arm's in pain, innit? I'm all woke up on the worst side of the bed. I'm missing my family. I want to go home. Like, I'm stressed. I'm tired. And you're going to dash this thing in my head. You must be mad. Because in the end, you would have got finished. So I'm thinking, nah, this you ain't lost his mind. No way. Like, we're cool, innit? Like, we're peoples. You ain't going to lose your mind and disrespect me. Surely not. Donnie's just went, boom, landing right at my forehead. Pressure point. Hannah's like, oh. Oh. Tamara's like, I'm like, moment. Freeze frame again. Bubble. Yo, he's mad, fam. He's lost his blood. Can't really say the word I want to say, but he's lost his beat mind. Nah, this shoot's crazy. Big conversation with myself before I do what I'm about to do, you know. Come back to real life. I'm like, yo. I'm like, yo, fam, Sam, what would you do right now? In depth, this is real talk. This is really what happened. What would you do right now if I got up and slapped you in your head? What would you do, blood? I don't know if I'm going to be out of shot, but I got up now. I'm like, yo, what? He's like, honestly, I'll slap you back, innit? Oh, my God. Oh, Charlie. I'm like, no. And then what happened to top it all off, Tamara's jumped up like on some, yeah, slap you back, hit it, babe. I'm like, you're gassing the shoot to die. Oh, so I'm like, okay. So I've got up, bearing in mind, set ease where you're sitting. Ease here, this is a long bop, you know. Joe's over there on that table over there. So I've walked around. Like, I'm talking walking, I'm strolling. I ain't on some hype thing like, oh, what? I'm like, oh, praying to my God, Almighty Jesus, that this you's gonna come to his senses and apologize. Like, quick, before I get to him, innit? Because now you just crossed the line. Principles have been broken. I walking, Charlie. I looked at Joe. Joe looked at me. He ain't thinking anything's gonna happen. Joe's probably thinking I'm gonna go over there and verbalize him, innit? No, Ruby, I've come round and I've stood over him like this. He's sitting here now. And he's like, I look at the facial expressions, bro. Like, you're not from the hood, bruv. Like, you don't understand what man are dealing with here. Like, we're trying to be professional, and you're just trying to ruin my life. Allow it. You're pushing buttons. You shouldn't be pushing. So I'm like, I've asked him again, like, yo, Sam, what would you do, like, if I slapped you the same way he just dashed the thing in my head top? I told you what I would do. You know, before the word I do even reached out of his mouth. You see this hand? You see how you used to get slapped by your dad? Bugger! Like, whole hand, innit? And I'll be honest, like, yes, I didn't punch him, I didn't uppercut, I didn't suplex, I didn't stunner him. I slapped the youth because I thought like that was enough for you to take, because you couldn't handle the box. So I'll slap you like you're my picnic. I got children now. You disrespected the father, innit? I slapped him, he got up, I just restrained the youth. I restrained him, Charlie. I said, you sit down, you don't go nowhere. But he's trying his hard. This youth is big, you know. He's them gym guys, you go gym but miss leg day. And they forget that you're not, you had to go gym to get hench. I'm coming from Africa, I eat pound of jam, bro. Like, this is mad for you. I'm restraining. So the guy is just bruised up, innit, because he's trying to get out of my headlock, and my headlock is a headlock, innit? Charlie, you can't get out unless I want you to. So he's doing everything. He's flipped me, I flipped him, I flipped. Ping pong things, and his girlfriend's like, ah! Joe's jumped at his table like, yo, blood, grab me, like, no! Because he knows what time it is now. I've violated all rules. They ain't hearing me. Point blank is, I'm black, you're white, you're bruised, I'm not. We've done the same thing. That's it. There's no conversations. Security is running. Kaz! I wish I could say the word. But he's Irish, so you can understand the venom he was hitting me with, because as far as they're concerned, everyone in there wanted to do what I just did. But nobody was going to, because you're in a place of work, so it's gross misconduct, point blank period. You had a fight. That's how they're going to see it. So that's it. Asking me, but what he's done, he's run into the next room. He's bleeding now, innit? His eyes all black and that because of my headlock and my slap. He's run into the room, pulled out his phone and started snapping himself, or at the time, videoing himself, sends it to his father. That's it, game over, because his dad was waiting for something to rap them with because of the stuff he went through in the actual show. He felt bullied, he didn't feel Louis was fair with him. So they had me as a scapegoat now to use. So his son could get what he feels he deserves, which is a deal or whatever it may be, or just to have Sony in some sort of headlock or whatever it may have been. I don't know the facts. But yeah, bruv, it was a madness. And that same night, I had to go back to the hotel. I couldn't perform, but he still went on stage. I thought you bust your eardrum. I thought your jaw was dislocated. Donny's doing big routine and big climbing on and jumping down on some, you get me, on some Robbie Williams thing. So yeah, man, that happened. So that's the real of that, because I couldn't speak on it properly because obviously at the time, promo and all of that. But yeah, man, that's what happened. I disciplined a disrespectful individual that felt he could get away with murder, and he carried on doing it even after me. You get me? So somebody, I just don't have patience like that. You get me? He was violating everyone. He dashed the bottle at Luke Friend's head on the bus. Like that, you know, I think he liked throwing things, because clearly that's what he was doing to people. But that's what happened with that. So that might have played a part in Sony's, I don't know.
Reputation precedes people, isn't it?
Yeah, so
It's like, and I'm not going to harbour onto it because it's a done situation. He instigated the incident.
yeah.
He provoked. Although I will never be on camera and say I agree with anyone putting their hands on someone, he's already thrown something at your head.
Yeah.
And I think these are the things where it's kind of like, when I spoke to you before about the day I understand about the R. Kelly song, there's a cultural difference where all things aren't equal.
But they understood that. And this is, again, I keep coming back to the point where they got it. The powers that be, the executive, they got it. 'Cause after they'd done their rounds of interviews of 3 days, like grueling interviews, they interviewed everybody in that room, to the dancers, the whole cast, character referencing. You get me? They wanted to see what kind of person I was. And everyone was like, yo, he's cool. Like, we ain't ever seen that side of him. But yo, their thing was, people are now afraid that they might do something to you, and I call it wording. It's the how you worded it to me. I don't think these same people that I've ate, slept and rehearsed with and been in this tour for the past 2 months with are going to be scared of me because what? You did the wrong thing and I disciplined him, now dead. So, but they said, we get why you did what you did because we understand and we get the same feeling about this individual, but because of protocol, we have to let you go. And I was like, yo, I'm hurt. Again, man, start balling in it, car. It's my life, Mr. Downstream, because the stream then were coming down, yeah? Because I was like, again, oh, mad. Oh, bruv, I really thought that I was going to clear this up and people will understand. All right, cool, I'll go. Again, another I'll go moment. I was like, Char, don't stop saying, that's my catchphrase, innit? I'll go, innit? Jeez, but yeah, that's what happened with that, man.
All right, so I'm rounding up. So the boys still continue the tour as a duo?
Yeah, man.
So do they get paid and you don't get paid?
No, I got paid. And that was a graceful thing they did. They're like, you know what, because we know the situation, we'll still pay you. Like, we'll still pay all of you. Like, you just can't be here. So I was hurt because...
You want to perform in front of people?
Yeah, but it's not the, like, money wonderful, but I'm trying to put, this is arena tour, right? I might not see this again for a hot minute. Let me live. So yeah, I was upset, but again, I was on house arrest because I couldn't come out the house because the story at the time was no one knew what really happened, so I couldn't be seen because if I'm seen on road and the man I'm on stage, say, what's going on there? So I had to stay in my house for a solid month. If I was going anywhere, I had to jump in a car. I couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't be seen. I had to wear hoodies. It was peak. People don't understand. Listen, public enemy number one, fam. I felt like Chris Brown, because minus what he did, because he's a madman.
All right, so let's this is the closing bit. So, because we're gonna get to the upstream part. So, how was it communicated that your deal with Sony was not gonna continue?
This is the wonderful part. This was the wonderful part. We didn't feel that they did anything apart from the marketing, the radio tour there. But the radio tour was specifically aimed at one demographic, you get me? So when we got the news, we was in Cyprus, overlooking a wonderful sunset. You get me? So imagine you're being told bad news And they come like, yo, T, round them up. Yeah, we got a quick meeting still. And we're sitting there, pool, good penthouse vibe, you know, just overlooking culture. And we're like, what's happening, man? What's going on? Yeah, the Sony doesn't want to like exercise the second option for the single, innit? So we're like, what does that mean? Yeah, they've dropped you still. Okay. That's what it was. What did I do anyway? That's exactly what the answer was. They didn't do nothing. Cha. And then we met Cameo in Cyprus the day after. And that's how that situation, because at that point we was no longer, you get me, we was free birds. So his situation came for the single, and we moved on to that same formula segment of our careers, you know what I mean? That whole segment where the song didn't come out in time, and that situation happened, and again, rigmarole of the same kind of marketing thing. Same formula should have been...
That was like 5 months delayed.
Yeah. We did the video 5 months before. We cut the track the week after we came back from Cyprus. And you have to understand something here is, that song, the people, the tastemakers was like, yeah, this is what you lot should have put out first. This is gonna bang. So we're gassed. We're like, bruv, the tastemakers are loving it. The people, our people are like, yeah, dum, dum, dum. It's a vibe. You can hear this in the club. You get me? Same formula. Everyone was singing it. Now, all we need now is the right marketing.
You need a release date as well.
And a release date. Don't do this.
There was not a release date.
Bro,
There wasn't
we
not.
did everything. We did lyric video, and we had like, it was just lingering, and I don't know what was happening.
No, bro, do you know, I remember from it, sorry to get into it. It was supposed to come out before December.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we got to get it out before the X Factor
the
final.
Christmas.
Right, before that whole Christmas thing happened.
Yeah.
Didn't come out,
Yeah.
then cool. Then it was like, okay, top of January.
Didn't
Didn't
come
come out in
out.
January. Then I'm calling Tony, what's going on? He's like, he doesn't know now. February, I think it came out March, April.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, March, April.
This is it.
So that's, at that point,
Momentum had died.
it had finished.
We was on like radio tour, like we was on tour for like press for the same formula, and we was promoting a song to come out, and we didn't know when it was coming out, and we're like, and when we did know, the goalpost just kept getting moved, and we're like, we can't promote something and it's not coming out. Like, anyway, yeah, that was the same formula situation. So as you can probably tell, every single label situation we've been in, it's been challenging, and it's been disheartening. So it was time to go independent, innit?
Alright, so what we're going to do, because we're quite short of time, we're going to go on to... Actually, can I ask you point blank, what's the status of you and Rough Copy?
Rough Copy,
I know the Twitter's gone.
Twitter's gone. We're gonna get there, because cameraman in. I'm in both of these. Got to clear this up, because there's a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of talks and chit chat. So with the Rough Copy is basically point blank, black and white, no grey areas. There's no more Rough Copy. We've decided to call it a day. Whether it was one member who made the first decision that had a domino effect on the other members saying what they need to say, group done, group's finished. It was an interesting and a very great journey. Whilst it was this year would have been 10 years. I'll be real. Rough Copy was a brotherhood. Yeah, there was a tripod. What happens if you take one of them legs off that tripod? The camera's gonna fall, innit? That's it. Do I need to say any more, bruv?
Okay. People will understand, they'll see.
Yeah, they'll get it, man. They'll see who they see, you know. Social media is a very strong thing. And at the end of the day, if you're on all our social medias, you'll know what's what. And you'll hear there's always three sides to a story. There's one side, the other side, and the truth. And in this situation, there's three members. So everyone's going to have their story to tell. I'm just telling mine because I'm the founder. And it started with me, and it ended with me because I was the last person still holding on to that last cloth. Like, no, it can't be done. It took me 2 months. No! Oh, it's done. Cha, it's done.
You think this year would have been 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
No, last year was 10 years. There was a lot of misunderstanding of how many years we've been together.
Is that 10 years? Is that 10 years with those boys, or 10 years since SOS?
Since SOS, so the whole, the kind of like spam is 10 years. Like, we had plans to release a 10-year anniversary of all the music that no one was ever able to hear, and it was almost like a release, like a. And again, I fought with everything I had to still have that happen. But when you got politics and when you have egos and like misunderstandings and like people are not amicable anymore, it's just like there's no brotherhood. You get me? So without no brotherhood, you can't even have a conversation. You get me? So if you can't have a conversation, there's no reason. And if you can't reason, there's just nothing. So sorry guys, you couldn't get your last little piece of music, but I'm here now, and I'm Mr. Upstream.
Let's get into let's get into that.
Let's go on to.
But the last bit I was going to get into the rough copy thing, and I think this is important for.
Oh, but before anything, it was a great journey. Don't ever get it twisted. It was a wonderful journey. Whatever happened.
We got to give shout outs to Jessica. We got to promote the positives. The first thing I'll say is that you guys provided such a wonderful moment for us on TV. Like, you know, like I can still remember sitting in my house with my mom, my pops, and just feeling proud that we had somebody like us on the biggest platform possible, promoting us in a way that represented us well. And for you guys to do that, I know you probably heard it a million times, but I'm grateful for that. You didn't have to do that.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? And I will tell you this much, I've seen...
Shout out Croydon.
Come on.
Done no. CR7, wherever, all of that.
7's the other side, I'm joking. It's all the same. It's all the same.
Like, one thing that we've done is, like, along the journey when I first met you guys, like, you guys have been, you personally, when we first met, and then we did a few things. I remember you text me. I think you text me, and I know definitely you text me. I don't want to call other names. You text me, you said, "Nah, thank you, bro." Because we did a situation where, you know, I brought the guys down to Nokia, and there was someone missing, but it was just you and, do you know what I mean? So they came down to Nokia, and like, they were just humble, a pleasure. And then when the single was coming out, we tried to like rectify what were some of the issues with the sound, and then they came down again. We recorded the version at Dean Street. Took us a good few hours. They came with their keys. Was it Illa Keys? Ill Keys,
yeah.
Did an amazing rendition. And another thing that the guys did that people aren't aware of, it was, I think, maybe 2 years ago, maybe around December, I don't know. And I got a text or a call, or I think, I was on my way to my barber's, I remember, and it's like, bro, we're having like a dinner. We'll just have a dinner with all the people who supported us, who's like along our way. I'm thinking, bro, like, I ain't done nothing. Do you know what I mean? But we went to a restaurant on King's Road. I keep on getting the name wrong. What was it called again? Benihana's. And there was like 15, if not more.
So, yeah, around 15, 20.
15, 20 people. Now me, I'm Nando's, innit? So I'm all right, innit? Like, I know if we going out, like, I ain't seen more than 30, innit? And yeah, Kaz was there, all the guys were there, and like, we all ate like kings that day. And that bill, how much was it, bro?
Mind your business. No, you know what it is?
Now, how much was the bill first that you can retrack? How much was it?
Do I need to say though?
Of course, man.
It was 1,500, man.
But that's my point. He didn't have to, you guys didn't have to do that. And
it was actually like, you know what it was? One thing that my manager at the time always taught me, like it taught us, but me specifically, because our manager at the time was my father-in-law. That wasn't any secret. But before management, it was always a mentor first. And his motto was, we have to get to a point where we're not just artists, we're free kings, you know what I mean? Free grown men. So he's always taught me about relationship building. So for me, that initiative was like, when I said to the boys, yo, we need to do something, Carl. There's way too much people that probably feel hard done by, that I don't feel like they've been appreciated enough. So I feel like we should do a dinner. Yeah, man, we sorted it out, Kaz. Okay, cool. So we got the budget. Painful budget, but it was good, because if that didn't happen, nothing would have happened. It would just been like a lot of people would have probably went away from the project, because people did come and go from the project with a perception. You know what I mean? Whether some of it was true, some of it was maybe not fully true, but it was good for us to do that, because it just showed appreciation to the people who didn't gain as much as we did from this thing called Rough Copy.
No, that was class, man. That was class. I remember your face when the bill came. He actually like he had a
Yeah. Oh, chalet. I was like, oh. And everyone looked at me like, yo, Kaz handle that. I was like, yeah.
Did you guys collectively pay for it? Or did you pay for it?
What, bruv? No, it was a Rough Copy collective, like pocket finance thing.
Yeah. Now shout outs to you guys on that, man. So I think that's that chapter there, man. And I think like 10 years, like what I'm gonna do also with this interview, in the description I'll put the links to like the previous one that we did, the Rough Copy story, so people, there's parts where they'll get into that.
The individual ones we did as a group.
Yeah, the individual ones, exactly. So that's got everyone's perspective.
Yeah.
Which will tie into obviously what we now know to be the case. You're now Mr. Upstream.
Yes.
Okay. I remember we
Wonderful.
Huh?
Wonderful.
Yeah. We had a conversation about this as well, I think. If you know Kazeem, Kazeem's a WhatsApp voice note general, right? And where did we go in Croydon? What bar did we go?
Box Park.
No. Hey, that's the first time. But when we went to the Jamaican place.
Oh, Dutchies.
Dutchies, right?
Dutchies, yeah.
So we were talking a lot about the whole Mr. Upstream, what you want it to be. It's going to be just more than just music. It's going to, I'm not going to give away the blueprint, but there's a vision there. People are going to say, well, what's Mr. Upstream? What music is he making? How do you answer it? What is Mr. Upstream? Explain to us the name and where you're looking to take it.
If you guys can cast your mind back to the last project we put out, it was called Viral Refix. And on the last track, there's a track called Be The One. And that was a Wizkid and R2B's refix that we did. But we also, it was featuring Mr. Silver. Now, for me, Sterling brought the idea in regards to that track. But for me, it was important that we'll get an authentic Afrobeats artist on there if we're going to do an Afrobeats cover. And that's something that I've always tried to implement in Rough Copy cultures. Like, you're from St. Lucia, you're Jamaican, and I'm Nigerian. And it took me a little while, like I said in the beginning of the interview, or the other one, it wasn't always glamorous to parade the fact you're African. But now, especially then, it was like, yeah, man, it's rising. We're coming. You get me? We're coming in numbers as well, and we're coming with hits. We got numbers here. So I've always wanted to do an Afrobeats influence kind of music, because that's what I grew up on. Like, I didn't grow up on the R&B. Like, people need to understand, I didn't grow up on R&B. I grew up on Fuji. Like, not even High Life, because that's more so Ghanaian, but I grew up on Fuji and Impala. So my dad, every Saturday before cleaning, that's what I'm listening to. Barrister, Lagbaja, King Sunny Ade, Wasiu. So these people were my idols, because that's all I knew. And obviously you had the Ushers and the Omarans and the Beat and the Jodeci's and the Boyz II Men. But in terms of what I'm listening to daily, that was it. So I always wanted to show that character. So when I banter, I use a lot of African accent, and because I can actually speak the language as well. It's not just fronting. I ain't just fronting. So
prove it. Just talk a little thing.
Kilon Shele.
No, keep on. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it.
But you have to conversate with me,
bro. Let them have one pair of subtitles, innit?
So basically, don't put me on the spot, because I can't speak it. Listen to my music. It's in there. No, but I can speak it and I understand it very well. So I can't ever be in a situation where I'm around whole heap of Yorubas and they're speaking and I'm looking like a deer in headlights. No, I'll fully get it. Even if you start speaking lingo like broken, you start getting in depth. You know, when your dad's praising you and they're speaking all sorts. I get it. And I want to be able to implement that in my music, and this is what I'm doing now. obviously Afro beats is very popular right now, but I don't want to categorize my music and box it in. Like, it's influenced. I was in a group for 10 years doing R&B. That's always going to be a part of me. But I'm Nigerian and I'm proud and I'm African. So to implement both of those genres together seamlessly, that's what you're going to hear. You know what I mean? You're going to hear spiritual music. You're going to hear a lot of harmonies, and you're going to hear a lot of singing. Not compromising the sound. I'm merely appreciating where I'm coming from and appreciating what I grew up on, and kind of like paying tribute to all the artists who are killing it now doing Afrobeat. So I just want a piece of the pie, man.
You went to Uganda recently,
Yes.
and you shot, was it a refit? What did you do out in Uganda?
In Uganda, I shot, again with my director, Ash Riley. We shot a cover for Distance, Amarudont's Distance. And I'm a massive fan of Amarudontv, so for me, it was important that I did a cover, because I've never, ever been brave enough to do one. Because I'm like, oh, no, man, I don't want to do Amarudontv, because Amarudontv, first and foremost, he's a performer. You know what I mean? Great performer. Before the singing, he's a vibe. I believe he's a vibe for me. When I listen to Amarudontv, I'm like, oh, yeah. Certain songs, I'm like, yeah, I like what you did there. But overall, from my perspective, he's a vibe. So I wanted to do the song justice, and when I played it to my director, he's like, yeah, we got to shoot it out in Uganda, because obviously Amarudontv shot his out in South Africa. But like, yeah, we got to do all of that. You get me? I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do it. You know what I mean? I was supposed to shoot one of my originals out there, but timing and the amount of things we had to do out there just didn't work. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to rush that. So let's do this cover. I don't know if you're on my social media, Mr. Upstream, all across the board, Upstream HQ as well. So when you see, there's a couple clips of me, you know, in my zone. You know what I mean? I'm dancing. I'm bringing back the dancing, because that's what I grew up on. And obviously, the Rough Copy, you guys know, didn't dance. Like, we danced on the show, but it wasn't heavily influenced dance. So you're gonna see a lot of that coming back. You're gonna get some foundation, basically. So you're gonna see a lot of that, and a lot of vocals, man, a lot of melodies, and a lot of harmonies. So look out for that.
The Mr. Upstream story is gonna continue.
Yes, man. Just support, man. At the end of the day, without your support, you guys have supported us enough, but you've got to continue supporting us as individuals, all three of us, because we're all going to be doing great things. But I need your support, because I'm transitioning from full R&B into this community of Afro beats, and just got to support, man. I won't be successful unless I get your support. So this camera, that camera, Mr. Upstream HQ, Facebook, Mr. Upstream, Instagram. Support Twitter, Mr. Upstream. Let's go, man. Support me. Support me!
Mr. Kazeem, okay, Upstream.
Madman.